Hello, class. How are y'all doing today? My name is Christian Kidd. I teach at Crossett School District, and today's presentation will be about Albert Al Bandura and his social learning theory. Now, let me give the disclaimer. Some of these words probably mispronounced, but I'm gonna try the best that I can to try to make this work. About Albert's life. He was born on December 4th, 1925, in Mundare, Alberta, Canada. Um, for his parents, his father's name was Joseph Bandura. He was from Karawał, Poland, and his mother, Justina Bernansky Bandura, was from Ukraine. Neither parent spoke English or went to school growing up. Joseph was a farmer who taught himself how to read three different languages, which would be Russian, Polish, and German. His extended family was from his youngest of six, and he was the only boy, and he had two siblings die in their early youth. One of the theories that we're talking about was Bandura's social learning theory, which later became cognitive, and they were in four phases. Phase number one, the attention, stimuli, focus, and as a person must be paying attention to the model. Phase number two would be retention, encode or rehearse. That is, a person needs memory to tie the modeled task to imitating. It cannot take place without memory retention. The third one would be motor production, which would be practice and feedback. A person needs to be able to practice the modeled task. And number four would be motivation. That would be with reward and reinforce. A person must weigh whether imitating will bring favorable or unfavorable consequences before the imitation takes place. If a person sees someone rewarded for a similar action, they are more likely to emulate that behavior. If a person is punished, they will not do the same thing to get in trouble. I would base that on kids now in our school systems. You have some of those who are hard headed, and when it comes time to get in trouble for their actions. Some of them don't hold them accountable, but then you look at the one child who pays attention to the class getting in trouble, and he's more likely to do what he's supposed to do as far as sitting down. Next, from the observational learning model, there are three basic models. There's a live model, which involves an actual individual demonstrating or acting out of behavior. She just talked about a child in the classroom. We all have that one child who probably tries to act out for a little bit of attention, and you have to pull them to the side and give them a conversation. A symbolic model, which involves real or fictional characters displaying behaviors in books, films, TV programs, online media. I'm a Marvel movie fan, so I just kind of look at those symbolic models of Iron Man before the snap, after the snap. Everybody wanted to be Iron Man, of course. Um, so that's what I like to use for that on the fictional character side. And verbal instructional model, which involves description and explanation of behavior. Everyone wants to understand what's going on, verbally being able to speak and understand that. So being very detailed in those explanations and just giving that from a behavior standpoint. Bandura's early professional and personal life, he attended the University of Iowa, where he met his future wife, Virginia Varnes, who was a nursing school instructor in 1952. The two tied the knot and soon had two daughters, Mary and Carol. Later in life, they had a girl, um, gave him two grandsons, which would be Timothy and Andrew. He earned his bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of British Columbia in 46, received the Balcon Award, which is earned for being outstanding student. He completed his master's in 51, his PhD in 52 in clinical psychology. After college, Bandura agreed to a postdoctoral position at Wichita Guidance Center for 1 year. Bandura started his important work as a teacher at Stanford University in 1953, and he stayed there until 2010. This is where he came up with the social learning cognitive idea. Bandura says that the theory would learn of people's behaviors and watching them. This is also where his famous Bobo doll study from 1961 proved that watching someone behave in a certain ways would make other people want to behave in the same way. For this study, movies were shown to various groups of kids. It was one group of kids who saw an adult hit the clown doll, another group who saw an adult play quietly without hitting the doll, and the third group of kids who had no model. After that, they were put into a room with the same doll and toys. The kids who saw the violent behavior were much more aggressive toward the doll after learning about it. They hit the clown with toys in the room and were mean to him verbally. They behaved badly in ways that were similar to what they had seen and also in ways that no one else had seen. The kids who didn't have a model and watched the non aggressive movie were not very or aggressive at all. These studies findings have been used to help people make social lives better in healthcare, education, and the law. Frank Piares said in his biography of Bandura that Bandura's research in this area dealt with building resilience to phobic threats. In this study of people with the fear of snakes were hindered in jobs, socialism, and normal enjoyment. Their treatment guided mastery and helped subjects overcome the fear of snakes in a matter of hours. When subjects returned for a follow up, he learned from the treatment process and made other improvements to their lifestyles. Dr. Duckworth stated that Bandura expressed that it's not a phobia or swelling that is the problem, but in how you believe of the helplessness and the emotions that can change your thoughts. The self efficacy that was there states when people believe about themselves directly, this affects their success and failure in their own lives. Other pioneers of Bandura's life, Robert Sears, who was the development at the psych department of Stanford at the period of time to help him focus on people's reactions to non-aggressive and frustrations and reactions. Richard Walters helps with the studies of antisocial aggressive behavior of boys that were established at economic homes. This idea provided data to the hypothesis about boys for broken homes. This leading research led to learning through modeling. This helped determine the mechanics of observational learning. The social learning theory came about in the 60s, and the cognitive theory developed a name in 86. Bandura wanted to separate the behaviorist theories of conditions through reinforcements and punishments. After new models were created, researchers were able to figure out reactions throughout the new process. Some accomplishments and awards. His honors were the president of the Psychological Association in 1974 and served as the chair of the board of directors. In 1980, president of the Western Psychology Association. In 99, he was appointed honorary president of the Canadian Psychological Association. Other awards, Distinguished Scientific Contributions Award of the American Psychological Association, the William James Award um, for Outstanding Achievements in Psychological Science, Thorndike Award, which was a Distinguished Psychological Contribution to Education, Lifetime Achievement Award of the Western Psychological Association, Lifetime Contribution to the American Psychological Association, and the Gold Medal Award for Distinguished Lifetime Contribution to Psychological Science. At the end of Bandura's life, or late thereafter, his wife Virginia passed away in 2011. In 2020, excuse me, 2016, he was presented with the National Medal of Science by President Barack Obama. In 2010, was made professor emeritus at Stanford. Bandura later died on July 26, 2021, to congestive heart failure at the age of 95. And here's my bibliography page and resources about Albert Al Bandura.